Okay, let's talk about serious. This really basically almost qualifies as serious novice screw up number one. I mean, empirically, I don't actually know where I place it on a scale of 1 to 10, but it's got to be at least top 3. And that mistake is trying to capture the moment versus capturing the image. Now, right now, I have Takine 100mm 2.8 macro setup. I've got this chintzy little light box that I built in 15 minutes that I'm going to show you all in the next video. But I want to make this video first as the premise of why your pictures suck. And I don't mean your pictures, but why people's pictures suck in general. We're all taught to capture what we see with our eyes, and we want to capture the moment, and we usually like a chess. I used to be a chess champion in high school and college, and it's really about how many moves you could see into the future. Now, computers can't think at all. All they can do is plan out moves, and that's why was it the Blue Machine that IBM built beat Garry Kasparov? I mean, the machine can't think at all, but it could always think several moves ahead so far as, well, he's made this move, he's got 128 options, and this is my best. It's an algorithm device. But, analogously to the human mind when it comes to photography, we're thought to capture what we see. I mean, we're reactive animals. I mean, just like a dog. You kick a dog in the ass, it turns around and bites you. That's reactive will. Now, proactive will is, somebody slaps you across the face, you get angry, but your mind, human consciousness, cogitates the actions like, well, if I hit this guy back, then he's going to slug me, and then, someone's going to pull a deadly weapon, and someone's going to end up dead. It's about seeing into the future. Yes, I've talked before about your camera being a time machine, but the important thing that you're really missing in your photography, and really most everybody else is too, is not only light layering is an aspect of this, but it's trying to capture the moment instead of trying to capture the image. The truth of the matter is that if your object that you have framed, your subject, whatever you're going to take a shot of, is moving less than 5 miles an hour, or your shutter speed is 1/30th of a second or higher, then you're capturing the moment, which is fine. I mean, if you got the beautiful light, if you have the composition, that's excellent. And these shots win awards. Now, what's easy to do is to think like someone who plays chess, is always be thinking a couple moves ahead. Remember, your camera is a time machine. It's got that little shutter on there for a reason. And when I turn the light off in a second, that shutter doesn't mean a damn thing. Here's my shutter right here. Okay, your shutter is for exposure. Okay, this is going to be my shutter right here. That and the luminous dials on this watch right here, which I'm going to activate with the flashlight. So, stop thinking about your shutter. Think about what your aperture needs to be, because if you stop down, then that gives you a larger time portal. Start thinking in terms of Star Trek. I mean, the stupid stuff that we remember in daily life actually always pops up in our heads. It's like, oh, Star Trek, Time Machine, or I remember when I watched H.G. Wells' Time. There's been like 3 or 4 movies. Dilate your aperture to the point, narrow it down, okay? Raise your aperture to the point where you have more ability to play in time. I forget which X-Men movie it was where this guy could actually run so fast that basically everybody's moving still, and he could smack everybody and do whatever he wants because he was so damn fast. Anyway, the point is that what you're doing, what everybody else is doing, like I said, if your object is moving 5 miles per hour or less, or you got 1/30th of a second or higher on shutter speed, you're capturing the moment, which is perfectly valid. But please God, I mean, there is, I keep telling people that 99% of the world is missing 60% of the photographs by not having a macro lens. Well, this is equally valid when we're talking about stuff. Well, I can't hold below 1/30th of a second. Well, who cares? Stop worried about blur. Some of the best images I have ever seen in my life were fuzzy and blurry. Okay? Stop getting this anal crap. Oh, it's not fun. I don't give a damn. Okay? It is about capturing the image. It's not about necessarily capturing the moment. Okay, you can capture the moment all you want. You can do that with a point and shoot. You know, you don't have $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 DSLR to capture the moment. You have it to capture the image. So start thinking like the chess player. Okay, start thinking moves ahead. Start thinking in time. Well, this is moving. What happens if I stop? Well, I don't care if it's blurry. You know, everything else is standing still. The trolley bus is moving. These are the shots that won award. There is so much missing from your photography, just like I was telling everybody's stuff, what their stuff is missing in photography by not having a macro lens. You're missing so much in photography. This is just really newbie. And basically, there are tons of professionals that still can't think like this. They're really good photographers. They've won award after award, and they're highly acclaimed. Their crap is in museums, and it's good crap. But they have a narrow spectrum of what they're good at. I ran into a few of these pros, and they're world-class pros, and their photographs are awesome. But they've never done any of this stuff. Photography is such a broad topic. I mean, it covers macro, it covers tech. I mean, there's just... I mean, it's ridiculous. It's like talking about cars, race cars, drift cars, you know, mountain cars. You know, just nobody can be an expert of it at all. And I'm not trying to say be an expert of it at all. But what you need to do is you need to start thinking about capturing the image instead of the damn moment. Okay, your point and shoot and your cell phone camera can capture the moment. Okay, you got this $2,000, $1,000 DSLR to capture the image. Right now, you can't see it down here. I've got the Velo Shutter Boss, which is the most handy tool on the face of this planet. Yes, it's cheap junk made in China, but it's got a 5-star rating from thousands of people. I've had 2 of them. One of them I got lost. I don't know what the hell happened to it. But they're cheap, and it lets you set to time. And, of course, you can use the cheapy trigger and just count, you know, go 1,000, 2, 1,000. But anyway, I'm going to show you something really simple, and I'll post up the image, okay, for you. Let's turn off the lights. Just, this is what everybody is missing. They really are missing. Now I have a set, now to dilate my image, okay, I've set it to F10. Now I should bring it up to F16 or whatnot, but I've actually found that 15-second exposure. Now I've also dropped my ISO down to ISO 200. So that's another way you can actually manipulate, dilate your time. Why do you want to dilate your time? Gives you more opportunity to manipulate the image. Okay. So you see what I'm doing here? I'm illuminating that green phosphorescent luminescent paint that's on the watch dial. I'm going to take a quick look. Okay, 15-second exposure. I've got it set. The Velo Shutter Boss, by the way, is just a killer. Now the last second or two, I'm going to flash with the flashlight. I didn't even point it at the object, I pointed it in the opposite direction, but that was enough illumination. Okay, shutter's closed. Let me see what I've got. It's exactly what I wanted. And I'll post the image for you to take a look at. Or I'll actually bring it over. Start thinking about painting with light. Now this is just one example of countless thousands. I mean, stop thinking that everything in your picture has to be sharp too, and it doesn't have to be sharp. Let me actually bring the camera over here. I'll let you take a quick peek if you don't want to download the image. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I know this is really clumsy. I know, Catch. Deal with it. Some various experimentation. We go on to 84. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. You see this? Now, you see what I'm doing? Oh, that's what you're doing. Yes, that's exactly what I'm doing. Next video, I'm going to show you how to make a light box very fast for like $1 or less, probably less. Put the tripod down. Yeah, that was clumsy. So what? Get over it. The point I'm trying to make here is, not about time exposures necessarily. It could be handheld. Stop thinking everything has to be perfectly sharp. It doesn't. I've seen gorgeous photographs taken at like 1/130th of a second of people that are like fast walking down a New York City street. Someone's got a monopod, and they notice people are rushing off to their work. Okay, they're clipping along, at a steady pace. They take like 1/20th of a second of a shot, or they'll do like a rear curtain sync, and they'll take a street shot. Remember, one of the really most important things that defines professional photography is layering of light. Well, really above and beyond that, even at the level of advanced amateurs, something that even lots of professionals don't do, and they make beautiful photographs, but they're not thinking like a chess player. They're not thinking ahead of time as so far as what they need to do as far as capturing or creating an image. You're about creating an image, okay? A snapshot camera, a point-and-shoot camera, can capture the moment, okay? Moments are great. They make for great memories, but, you know, there's a denotative and connotative difference between capturing the moment and capturing the image, and you're not really capturing the image so much as you're creating the image. Now, this is an extreme example of where I'm manipulating everything, obviously, but you're creating the image by being a master of light manipulation. And if you can't create it like I'm doing here with the softbox, this really cheap softbox, by the way, I've got a better one than this. I'm going to show you how to make one really cheap here in a second. Is that you need to let the light speak to you. You need to know how it operates over time. You know, blur is not bad. Out of focus is not bad. There are tons of valid reasons to stick it up on 12,800 ISO and create a really grainy ass image, okay? You need to be thinking on various spectrums. Okay, you need to be like an alien with your camera that can not only see in the visible light spectrum, but in the spectrum of time that your DSLR, you know, you paid $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 for this DSLR for some reason, okay? And these remote shutter releases exist for a reason, and they're not that hard. You know, I could teach a blind person how to use one of these in about 5 minutes. So that's okay. I set my self timer when it starts. I set the duration. I can set my interval for like doing multiple shots that I can make movies out of, but the only important thing I really need is the long interval so I can set specific times. And remember, when it comes to stuff like this, your shutter doesn't matter. This is your shutter. Okay, my shutter's all the way open for 15 seconds. Now what I've done is I've dilated the time by stopping down my aperture 0.1 and dropping it down to ISO 200, 200, 400, whatever. This is one example. But there's countless examples of shooting on the street. You're not taking long time exposures like this, but you're getting blur, you're capturing motion. You're actually telling the poetry of your photograph that is part and parcel to you creating the image. You're supposed to be a master, or you're trying to strive towards that. I mean, you got a job, you might want to consider, you know, advancing your skills in photography. This isn't that hard. That you're actually creating the image. You are seeing the image in your head. It all starts in your head. As Ansel Adams said, you know, the most important part of your camera is 12 inches behind the viewfinder, and that's right. And you bought this camera for a reason. You didn't buy a point and shoot. I'm shooting this with a point and shoot, but please just think tonight, like, this is really the most important thing. This is like newbie. This isn't just newbie mistake. This is actually professional mistake too. You're just getting gray. It's like, this is what I see. I'll do some fill flash, which is seeing a little bit as far as creating the image, which is actually a lot. Most people don't even layer their images using ambient light and fill flash. So that's actually part of creating your image, but you need to think even deeper. You need to be thinking 5, 6 moves ahead. You need to be thinking in time. Stop worrying yourself about everything being sharp or grainy or blurry, because this defines creating the image. I mean, there are just 10 bazillion snapshots out there, and they're about capturing the moment, which is great. And they win lots of awards, but please start to think about capturing the image. Okay? Not capturing the moment, capturing the image. And more importantly, creating the image. Okay, you go from capturing the moment to capturing the image to creating the image. Okay? Thanks very much for watching. If you like this video and drop me a buck or two, go tell me to jump off a cliff, whatever makes you most happy. Bye.